400 years it stood as the most sacred building on earth. Its walls were plated with gold, its mighty beams carved from the legendary cedar of Lebanon. It was a house built for the name of the Almighty, Solomon's temple, the place where heaven and earth were believed to meet. Then, in the summer of 586 BC, Babylonian fire reduced it to ash. 400 years of worship, sacrifice, and prayer erased in just days. Yet when Babylon's officials recorded the plunder, they cataloged it with obsessive precision. Bowls, pillars, spoons, basins, even the number of decorative pomegranates on the columns. But one object is missing from every list. The most sacred item in Israel's history, the Ark of the Covenant. What happened to it? And why did God allow his own house to burn? To understand that, we must first understand the lie Jerusalem believed.
Judah had developed a dangerous theology. As long as the temple stood, they believed they were safe. The building itself became their security. Jeremiah heard people chanting, "The temple of the Lord," like a protective spell, while injustice, corruption, and idol worship filled the city. Scripture says God sent his prophets again and again out of compassion, but they were mocked, ignored, and rejected until there was no remedy left. Enter Nebuchadnezzar II, emperor of Babylon, builder of massive walls, commander of the most feared army on earth. And in one of the Bible's most shocking phrases, God calls this pagan king my servant. Not because he worshipped Yahweh, he didn't, but because even empires can become instruments of divine judgment. On Judah's throne sat Zedekiah, a young puppet king installed by Babylon after the previous ruler was exiled. Nebuchadnezzar made him swear loyalty in God's own name. Zedekiah heard Jeremiah's warnings again and again, and again he ignored them. In 589 BC, he broke his oath and sought an alliance with Egypt. Politically reckless, spiritually catastrophic. The prophet Ezekiel, already in exile, declared the verdict. The covenant breaker would not escape. January 588 BC, the 10th day of the 10th month, the Babylonian army arrived. Tens of thousands of soldiers closed in around Jerusalem. No assault, no rush, just a full siege. No one in, no one out. Siege warfare is mathematics. Cut the supply lines, and time itself becomes the weapon. Babylon built ramps, towers, and archer platforms, then waited. Food ran out, water was rationed, weakness spread through the city. Then hope appeared. Egypt marched north, Babylon withdrew. Celebration erupted inside Jerusalem. The false prophets were right, or so they thought. Jeremiah sent a message: Egypt will retreat, Babylon will return, the city will burn. For speaking these words, he was imprisoned. Weeks later, the Babylonians returned. Egypt was gone. The noose tightened, and the siege would last 18 months. Inside the walls were perhaps 25,000 people, cut off from farmland, surviving only on what remained. Then starvation began. The Book of Lamentations reads like eyewitness testimony: bodies wasted to bone, skin shriveled, people no longer recognizable. It records something even darker: famine so severe it crossed every human boundary. Not metaphor, documented siege reality. Centuries earlier, Moses had warned them that covenant rebellion would lead to exactly this horror. Through it all, Jeremiah preached, surrender and live, resist and die. They called it treason, and he was nearly killed for telling the only message that could have saved them. Day after day, silence inside the city, feasting fires outside the walls. Then, the breach came. July 586 BC. The northern wall fell. Babylonian troops entered in disciplined formation. Commanders took control at the city center. This was not chaos, it was military procedure. That night, King Zedekiah fled through a hidden gate toward the Jordan Valley.
but he was captured near Jericho, the very place where Israel had first entered the Promised Land centuries earlier. The kingdom's story closed where it began. He was taken to Nebuchadnezzar's headquarters. There, his world ended. His last sight was his dynasty ending. Then, darkness. Ezekiel had prophesied it. He would go to Babylon, but he would never see it. Fulfilled exactly.
1 month later, the captain of the guard arrived with orders. Demolition. The temple burned. The palace burned. The great buildings gone. The walls torn down stone by stone. The leaders were executed. The survivors were exiled. The destruction happened on the 9th day of the month of Av. It became the darkest day on the Jewish calendar, because on that very same date, centuries later, the Second Temple would fall again. Before the demolition, officials conducted an inventory. They recorded everything. The records are astonishingly detailed, like an accountant's ledger of sacred history. 2 bronze pillars stood at the temple entrance, 27 feet tall, hollow cast, crowned with capitals decorated with chains and pomegranates. The records preserved everything. They counted every detail, even the fruit shapes. The pillars were smashed, broken apart for transport. The great bronze basin resting on 12 oxen destroyed. So much metal it could not even be weighed. Gold and silver vessels were sorted and carried away to Babylon, placed in the treasury of Marduk's temple. To Nebuchadnezzar, this meant one thing. His God had defeated Israel's God. He was wrong, but we're not there yet, because something is missing. No Ark of the Covenant, no mercy seat, no record of capture, no record of return, only silence. Theories exist that it was removed during corruption, hidden by reformers, concealed by Jeremiah. But Scripture gives no final answer. The mystery remains. But Scripture gives another explanation. God was not defeated. According to Ezekiel's vision, the divine presence left the temple before the fire ever arrived. He saw it, the glory, move from the inner sanctuary to the threshold, from the threshold to the east gate. Then it departed over the Mount of Olives, reluctant, deliberate, gone. Why? Because idolatry had filled the temple itself. Images covered the walls. Foreign gods were worshipped in its courts. Even the priests bowed to the sun. The building remained, but its purpose was gone. The temple had become a lucky charm, a symbol instead of a relationship. They trusted the building, but abandoned the covenant. And God will not live as a mascot. Nebuchadnezzar did not defeat God. He served God's judgment. The warnings given centuries earlier unfolded exactly as spoken: siege, famine, exile. Yet judgment was not the end. A remnant survived. The people were preserved. The sacred vessels were preserved. The promise to David's line was preserved. Buildings fell, but promises did not. 50 years later, Babylon fell in a single night. As the sacred vessels were being used in mockery, a hand appeared and wrote judgment on the wall. That very night, Persia conquered the city. Then, King Cyrus issued a decree. The Jews could return home. The temple vessels were counted again, restored. More than 5,000 items returned from exile. A second temple rose, smaller but standing. Centuries later, Jesus walked its courts and called it his Father's house. But that temple would fall too, teaching the same lesson twice. God's dwelling was never about a building. It was about a people, and ultimately a person. The structure was only a shadow. The reality was coming. And the Ark? Still missing, still debated, still one of history's greatest unresolved mysteries, and worthy
of its own investigation. So here is the question. If God's presence left the temple before the flames came, what does that reveal about what he truly values? Gold? Walls? Sacred real estate? Or faithful hearts?
If you found this story meaningful, leave a like and subscribe to Enigma Bible for more true biblical history. And one more thing, right after this video, 2 quiz videos are coming based entirely on today's story. Test how much you really remember about Solomon's temple, and comment below which Bible topic you want to see next. Stay with us because the next video will challenge what you just learned.